A North Richland Hills police captain who was shot and wounded by a bank robber 19 years ago is speaking out. Our Jason Allen was at the news conference this morning where Officer Jeff Garner spoke, and a detective outlined how they were able to crack this case 19 years later. Jason.
Karen, this is information, details on this investigation that detectives said in this news conference just a few minutes ago is when it ended, really that they have now against all odds. This is something that started more than 20 years ago, a series of bank robberies throughout the region back in 1998 in Oklahoma and Kansas and in Fort Worth and Arlington. The last one in '03 was in Watauga, and that is when Officer Jeff Garner at the time tried to pull over a red Jeep that he didn't know had been involved in the robbery. The driver of that Jeep fled from him and then started firing shots at him. One of those shots hitting Jeff Garner in the ankle. Well, since then, 2003, the case went cold until a detective about 6 years ago, Eric Whitlock, decided to pick it up. There was DNA available from some of these bank robberies. In fact, there was blood on a glove left at one of the scenes from one of these bank robberies that had been processed but didn't match anything. So Whitlock submitted it again, developed a more complete DNA profile. It came up with a complete profile of someone, and then just a few months ago, that profile matched a couple of profiles in a genealogical database that came back to Mark Long, who lived in Oklahoma City. Detectives went there, spoke to Long. They served a search warrant in his house. They found the gun that they believe was involved in this shooting all of those years ago. And after 19 years, they finally had their suspect. Here is what now Captain Jeff Garner had to say about getting these answers after all this time.
I have been carrying the weight of this event for 19 years, and I am eternally grateful for the opportunity to finally set it aside. While I am grateful, I recognize the Long family is grieving. The Mark who shot me was not the Mark that they knew. In many ways, these recent events have made them victims of Mark's actions, the same as it did the employees of 7 different banks.
Yeah, detectives don't believe that Long ever told anybody, not his closest family or friends, about anything that had gone on all of these years ago, that they are just as surprised as detectives here were to finally track him down and get those answers. We're going to be putting together a complete story on this, Karen. We'll have more coming up this afternoon in our afternoon and evening shows for you.
All right, Jason, thank you very much. Such an interesting story.